Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Be Luminous with Lisa. My name is Lisa Dondi. I am a brand ambassador with Thank Goodness, and I'm so excited to be live with you today for our Wearable Vision Board Workshop. And it's National Vision Board Day, so I had to do something amazing and fun for it. So if you're here, say hi. If you're catching the replay, hashtag replay below, because all of those count. We want everybody to participate, even if you are catching the replay. And so I'm going to preface with, I have a few screens open because I can't see comments on Facebook on my phone where I'm going live. So if you see me glancing around a little bit, it's because I have some notes and I have our live on my other screen just so that I can see comments as they come in. Hi, June. Thank you. Oh, I can see comments. So that's exciting. That's a bonus. We're going to keep that. We're going to hopefully get that going. So I'm also just setting my timer so that I make sure that we kind of stay on track a little bit because we all know how much I love to talk. And this is one of my absolute favorite topics and favorite things to talk about. So first things first, you should see a link, maybe, if Facebook is cooperating, with the guide for the workshop. Okay, so it looks like this. Ignore whatever my printer decided to do there last night. Hi, Kathy. Good morning. So this is what the workshop guide looks like. You can grab that and follow along, but I'm also going to go through it as well, step by step. It's not overly detailed or scary. It's just sometimes nicer to have it in a workbook. We all love a good workbook. And my email subscribers also got an early copy of it. So I know some of them have already done some homework and they've already prepped, and I'm super pumped to see exactly what everybody does today. So first things first, the reason why I wanted to do this workshop was because a couple of years ago, I started with coming up with a word of the year to kind of keep me grounded and keep me focused. I never really liked New Year's resolutions because by January 30th, they're poof, they're gone. Nobody worries about them. Nobody does them. And it was really disheartening. So another community that I was in came up with doing a word of the year. And so I picked for a couple of years, I picked a word of the year, and I really felt it kept me grounded throughout the year and really helped me stay on track with my goals. And then in 2023, I couldn't come up with a word of the year. So I chose a phrase of the year, and I had it inscribed, and I'll show it to you quickly. I was going to show you later on, but we'll show it to you quickly here. So this was my inscription piece from 2023. It said, "Flourish on your own path." I had a lot of crazy sorry, there we go. It's a little bit shiny. I had a lot of crazy personal things happening that year, and it was really important for me to remember that my path was my path, and it was not necessarily something that I needed to have the same path as what society thinks and what everybody else thinks. It was my path, and that's what I wanted to follow for me and my family. So that was a really important grounding tool for me. And then in 2024, I created another inscription piece, and my phrase of the year was "Empower Your Own Growth." And this was my inscription piece from that year. I decided to go gold because I actually paired this. There we go. You can kind of see that a little bit. So I kind of paired that actually with the necklace that I'm wearing today, which is our Overcome necklace. At the time, it only came in gold. It now comes in silver. And so I wore this pendant with that Empowerment Your Own Growth piece basically frequently throughout 2024 to kind of keep me grounded on that. This year, charm pendants are a huge trend. And as you'll know, I don't usually hop on all the crazy trends if I don't personally love them and how they'll fit into my own life. So this year, I decided to do a charm pendant tumbler basically for my those big like Stanley cups and stuff that have been coming out. I don't really have one of those, but I wanted to be able to still carry it around with me. So I actually attach it to my purse. And so I'm going to show you that later on. And I'm going to tell you what my phrase of the year for 2025 is. I have shared a sneak peek of it on the page, but I'm going to share that later on with you once we delve into this a little bit more and how I kind of changed how I did everything this year. So basically, we're going to talk about the 3 different ways that you can kind of come up with your phrase of the year, your word of the year, however it is that you're trying to take your vision board and what you want for 2025, and how you can make that into a wearable vision board so that you can keep yourself organized and motivated throughout the year. So someone's messaging me and they're like, where are you? Where's your life? So quick, I will show you quickly. Those were the inscription pieces that I did, which is one way you can do it. The other way you can do it is our living lockets, which are our first and foremost love of Origami Owl. So that's just a quick glance at kind of what one can look like. That's a medium. I'll go into more detail about that later. And then the other way you can do it, like I said, is the charm pendants. And this is a very quick peek at what one looks like. This is what mine looks like that goes on my purse right now. And they come in bracelets, necklaces, and you can also get the a little bit of a tweak version on the purse one. Okay, so that's basically what we're gonna do. So in your workbook, I've gone through page 1 and 2. We're now on to page 3, and we are going to talk about finding 3 small goals to work on for 2025, or 1 if that's really what you want to kind of focus down into. But when I say small goals, I mean literally small goals. We're not talking giant goals that are going to take a lot of energy and a lot of kind of worry to kind of break down. We're going to talk about like 3 small things. So my first goal, one of the reasons why I have a little plane on mine, is because we're planning a family trip in about a year, and I am trying to make sure that I keep that front of mind. I want to save a little bit. I want to prepare mentally for it, kind of all these things that are happening for it. And so that is one of my small goals basically for 2025, is to think about a travel trip that's coming up in either this year or early next year. My second goal is to prioritize self-care, whether that's through kind of crafting and some new fun things I've started doing with coloring and card kits and things like that. So I'm trying to make that a priority because I want to make sure that I keep myself in check mentally and make sure that I am doing okay, because if you're not okay in your mental health, then kind of everything else falls apart. And I've really been focusing on that in the last year or two, is making sure that my mental health is where I need it to be and getting, the necessary resources to help me do that. And one of those is to make sure that I'm exercising, that I'm finding other creative outlets. And I'm not a crafty person, so that's why this has become a really important goal for me, because if I don't make it a priority and I don't kind of make sure that I'm keeping myself motivated, it's not an automatic for me. It just kind of falls to the wayside, where other things are automatic. Like I read every single day, no matter what. I read one of my books, but I don't always craft. So I want to make sure that I keep that as part of my goals. And my third and final goal is basically to make sure that I'm showing up for you authentically. I'm sharing my true story, and I'm hoping that that resonates with you, with your friends, and sending your friends to me to help everybody kind of keep on track for 2025, and making sure that everybody is getting the adequate amount of self-care that they need, because let's be honest, women do not take the amount of self-care that we need for ourselves. Everybody else seems to come first, and we really need to kind of make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. So I would love to know even just one of your goals, one small goal for 2025 that you have. Drop it down in the comments below. I can see some comments, so that's good. Facebook seems to be cooperating, so that's always a bonus. But drop below, if you're here, 1 or 2 small goals that you are hoping to work on in 2025 that you want to incorporate into your vision board. So while I wait for some of those to come in, I'm going to talk really briefly about the different ways that you can make this wearable vision board, and why I think it's so important to have a talisman and something important for you to be able to carry with you throughout the year. So like I said, this is one of our living lockets. This is our large. Now I have just put a plate, the back of a Disney plate in there, just to give you an idea of size-wise what it would look like if you added charms to it. So this one is our semicircle heart, which is a mental health nod, basically, it's the semicolon, to make sure that everybody is getting the help and the necessary tools that they need. And then I also put a little love charm in there as well. It has a little diamond in the O, I believe. And this is basically just to show you that you can use a large living locket, and inside you can put an inscription, your own inscription piece with a date, your word of the year, your phrase of the year, a picture even, and then you can add 1 or 2 charms that either ties in with that goal or ties in with another part of your vision board and your goal. So that is just one example of how you can take your vision board and you can make it into a living locket. You can also do the charm, pendant, necklace, or bracelet. Like I said, this is the tumbler version, or I'm also going to show you how you can make this into a bracelet, and I need to just make sure I'm holding it up so you can see it. You will notice, and I'm going to show you in a little bit, you will notice that the plane is actually facing the wrong way when it sits properly. You'll see that you can see everything else, but the plane is kind of sitting backwards. And I'm going to show you in a minute how you can actually move these and make this yourself, because there are 2 different options for this on the website. You can buy all your charms individually, and you can buy the chain individually, and you can make this yourself. Like, you can open up the clasps on the charms and you can put them exactly where you want them to, which is what I've done here. And I do have a reel on that below, which was shared in the workshop email. But if you didn't see that, drop the word reel below. And after this, I'll make sure that I point you to that so that you can see the full reel on how that happened. But shortly, I'm going to show you how we can move this plane over. So this is one of the ways that you can do that. You can also have head office basically assemble this for you for a small fee. It's like $10 US. It's not really anything to be able to take this, and they will make your necklace or your bracelet for you. And there's a little spot that you'll be able to tell them, like, kind of, you know, space them out equally, or put them in this order kind of thing, so that they can do that. And then if you happen to get it and it's like a little bit off, or it's not in the order you wanted after you saw it in person, it's really easy to move them on your own. Like I said, I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. So that's a second way, through either the bracelet, the necklace, or the charm tumbler, or the version of the purse that you can do to make that as well. And you can also do the inscription pieces as well, which I showed earlier. So let me take a look here. So Kathy wants to find joy in the simple things and reducing pressure to do it all. Oh my gosh, yes, Kathy. We really, really put so much on our plates that we want to kind of think that we have to do it all. And we don't. We really have to kind of, from another community, one of my previous coaches used to say, drop the balls that bounce. So if you're a part of that community and you know who said that, Janelle gave us that saying. And honestly, I have a Post-it note of it beside my spot at the couch to, when I'm planning and I'm working, to remind myself that we need to drop the balls that bounce, that we don't need to worry about everything right now, and that we need to just focus on what actually needs to happen, and not necessarily what actually needs to happen according to everyone around us, what we want to make sure that we get done. So that's amazing. June wants to focus on self-love, making better food choices, decluttering, which is amazing. And she's one of my besties and my accountability buddy. And I know that we've had many, many chats about that. So I'm really excited to see what she comes up with for that. That is a fabulous word, Kathy. I love elevate. I don't know where I got that. That is a fabulous word. I love it. I always had a hard time picking one word. So I'm always impressed when people come up with one word. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to mention is the next step in creating this is basically taking what your word is going to be and what your goals are going to be. So for something like making better food choices, June, you could pick one of our many, many, many food charms. There's also like, there's for like the charm pendants, there's lots of love ones. There's lots of like self-care ones. There's a whole bunch of like family ones. And so you could pick something like that to represent what you want for that. Brenda's word is explore. Ooh, that's a fabulous one. You could do so much with that. There's like a globe charm pendant. There's a couple of different plain ones. I'm just trying to think. There's a ton of hearts you could do for that as well. There's family ones. There's so many different charms and charm pendants that you can, the options are really limitless, and you can literally find something that's going to match anything that you're looking to do. So that is that. So let's pop on to the next page of the workbook, page 4, if you're following along. And I would love to hear, now that we've kind of chatted a little bit about our words and what we want to do. Carol wants to spend time with her family, her husband and her mom. What would be something, what is like the first image that comes to mind when you think about your word of the year, or your phrase of the year, or your goals? And what do you think is the first image that kind of pops to mind of what you could use to possibly represent that in like a charm, in an inscription piece, in a charm pendant? Like, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? And I bet I can find something that matches. Because seriously, there's so many options. So once that comes through, what I'm going to do actually is take this time. Let me just watch. Let me look at my timer and see. Oh, we're only 14 minutes in. I'm doing well. Set a timer. So I'm going to try and do this. This might be a little bit tricky to do. I think last time I did it where I could like put it down. So I'm going to show you quickly how to change the charm pendants on our chains here. So really the only thing you need is like pliers. I would not make them like pliers that have like a cutting, like that really line. I don't have them anymore. I put them over there somewhere. You want to make sure that they're kind of like needle nose pliers and they don't have any sharp edges on them, because I did that and I almost cut into my chain. So I like to use, these are literally my jewelry tweezers for picking up charms and putting them in. So I just have two tweezers here, and let's hope this works, because sometimes it's a little bit of a thing. And so you basically are just going to line it up in between where the space is, and you're just going to ever so gently, like I said, it's a little bit hard to do at this angle, so let me see if I can get this. And you're just going to ever so gently like pull it apart so that it just comes apart enough that you can put you can get the charm off, okay? So then you're going to take, and you're going to make note here, because this is how I didn't do this last time. You're going to make note of how this is sitting. So this right now is, the jewels are sitting kind of on top, and I want them to sit below. So you're going to take it off. You're just going to flip it over, and then you're going to grab your tweezers again, and you're going to ever so gently get these in the right spot, and you're just going to put this back. It takes a little bit of finagling, and when you're not doing it like this and trying to show people at the same time and you're looking down at it, it is much easier. When I did it on my own, it was much easier. But let me just, when my hands aren't weirdly shaking. Okay. Okay, we're just going to come back down here for a second, and you can, there we go. Much easier when you're not trying to hold up your hands. Ooh, new knitting techniques, Brenda. That's fun. I actually used to knit and I got out of it. That's why I'm kind of loving getting into this coloring thing. I've been doing like paint by number, but they're all like major landmarks around the world. So I did the Eiffel Tower, I did the Colosseum, and I'm now working on Big Ben right now. So I'm super excited about that. So now you can see that I've moved the plane, and now the teal stones are pointing outwards along with all of the other ones. So like, it really is super, super easy to be able to make this yourself. You don't have to be kind of jewelry inclined. You don't have to be super crafty to be able to do it. So if you'd rather do it yourself and be really particular about where your charms go, you can absolutely do that. Or you can, like I said, have home office assemble it for you for a small fee. Yeah, it's not hard, but doing it on screen's a little bit trickier. Absolutely. Okay, so let me just take a look here and see. So when I picked my 3 goals, like I said, I wanted to make sure that I was picking charm pendants that were representative of that. So now that I've shown you how to make it, let me kind of briefly show you why I picked which ones I picked, and I'm sure you can figure that out as well. So the plain, obviously, I picked the teal one because teal is one of my favorite colors, along with pink. my husband fights me tooth and nail about getting teal color into the house, and like literally over the last 10 years I've like slowly been incorporating it in. We have like a carpet that's teal. I've thrown in like an ottoman. There's a couple of pillows. Ever so slightly I throw in some teal because he wouldn't let me have it as a wedding color. I joke, but yeah. So I picked the teal plain because it's really cute and my favorite. And then there's also 2 different versions of a globe. I almost picked a globe as well. So that was kind of my remembrance for, my charm to kind of symbolize my traveling. And then for my self-care, I picked this little painting charm. Now, obviously I'm not painting with, I'm not painting with actual paint. But this is about as close as I could get, which was fine for me. I mean, I didn't expect it to have, a coloring book and pencil crayons as a charm. That's getting really specific. So that was as close as I could find. And I really love this one. It's got all the bright, vibrant colors in it. I believe there's also like a little exercise bike charm as well. And I almost picked that one because I've been really focusing on making sure that I've been keeping up on my exercise. And I mean, when I say exercise, I do not more than 10 minutes a day. It's the same program I've been doing for like 2 years. And I've been really focusing on making sure that I do it at least 4 to 5 times a week. I give myself some grace. I'm not necessarily going to get it done every day. But I've been really focusing on making sure I do that because I have noticed a huge mindset shift and mental health shift when I don't exercise. If I go off the rails for like a week and I don't do anything at all, my mindset just nosedives. And so I've really noticed that I need to make sure that I'm keeping my exercise up. So I almost put a charm bike on here, but I decided to do the coloring one instead because it was just a little bit more colorful and fun. So my other goal is to make sure that I'm showing up authentically for you in my business, in my life, and I'm not, super stressed about what people are telling me I should be doing versus what I want to be doing, and making sure that I'm staying true to my vision and my story, and how that can empower other people as well. So that one, I picked the bow because although bows are super trendy, I don't follow all the trends. I follow the ones that I like, that fit into my lifestyle, that fit into my journey. And so I picked the bow as kind of a reminder that even though it was a huge trend for 2 years, and we have a ton of pieces that are bows, I picked it because I love bows and I'm super girly and I love my pink and all the things. And so it was just a reminder of me to stay true to who I am and not kind of follow the path. And then of course I had to pick a pink heart because it is part of my branding. It's my color. I love it. It also matches my nails, which was unplanned and super fun. And then of course I had to pick the pearl L, to represent my name, and obviously also to represent being luminous. And then I actually also picked the pearls, because pearls have kind of a personal significance for me. I have a string of pearls that were given to me by a family member who's no longer here, and I wore them on our wedding as kind of a way to include them in that day. And so pearls kind of have a special meaning to me in the background that I don't really talk about too often, but I wanted to kind of symbolize that. And so you can get any letter you want in the pearls as long as it's available. I did actually contemplate getting an M, because I guess I should have said what my phrase of the year was before I started talking about this, but I got all excited. My phrase of the year is momentum with meaning. So I want to stay moving forward. What I did on 2024, I want to keep that going. I want to continue growing, and kind of keep that momentum that I felt coming out of the year feeling really good, kind of keep that going into 2025. So I almost picked an M for this instead of the L, but unfortunately the M, when I went to go buy it, was actually out of stock. And I thought, you know what, that's a sign that I should pick an L, and I should make sure that I stay true to who I am and to who my story is. And I've been Be Luminous with Lisa from the beginning because that is my story, that is my truth. And so I wanted to kind of make sure that I gave myself a nod to that. The family tree, we do actually have, Carol, a family tree charm pendant. I saw it yesterday on the site. It is so pretty. I absolutely love it. And it's such a popular, we have Tree of Life charm, or we did at one point. I haven't checked to see if we still have that. So it was really popular. So I'm really excited that they've moved it over into the charm pendant. So there is one of those as well. Okay. So let me just quickly glance over my notes here, make sure that I have shown everything. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show, if you don't like the look of having something on a necklace or a bracelet, but you love the idea of the charm pendants, you can also do them as a toggle. And so this chain is silver right now, and it is available on the site. And it basically has this little toggle piece on it. So you basically just push that down. And I'm going to take my gold pink heart here that I have as a pendant. And I mean, I know it doesn't match this chain, but we're gonna go with it. It's fine. You can mix gold and silver and rose gold. And if I can get my nails to cooperate, you basically just pop it on. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna have to just do this down here because doing it at that angle is not working. So basically I just popped it on. You press this down here and you just pop the charm on and it slides on. It's not hard. It's just hard to do at that angle. So you can wear this toggle two different ways. This chain two different ways. You can wear it long, so it is definitely going to sit longer. I personally, on me, don't wear it this long because it would basically go down to my belly button. It's a very long chain. But if you like longer chains and you're taller and you can kind of pull that off, this is a beautiful chain for that. You can also wear it shorter. And like I said, there's a little toggle line at the bottom, or sorry, at the back, and you can literally just put it, you toggle it through the loop, and I put it on the wrong way, so it's backwards. Let me just redo that. And let me just move these out of the way. And you can wear it like this. It looks super cute. And, oh, I still put it on backwards. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. And it looks super cute. Now, the awesome thing about these toggles is you can add more than one. And I have an example here of one that I have added two gold ones. So I added a bow. Like I said, I love the bow trend. And I also added a little cactus because I got this to help me remember my amazing trip I took to Arizona in February, which was a huge deal for me professionally, personally, all the things. So I got this fun little charm pendant to kind of like remind me of my fun time there. But the cool thing about this is we have what's called a charm catcher. So this basically just opens up on the side, and then you open this little toggle here and you can stick however many charms you want on this charm catcher. It comes in gold and silver, so I have it on a silver chain, but obviously if you wanted to put it on a gold chain or a silver chain, you can get whichever one you want to match which charm pendants you'd like. But if you weren't a fan of this longer silver toggle chain that I showed, and you aren't a super huge fan of gold, because that's what the charm pendant necklaces come in right now, is a gold chain, you can do something like this. You can pick a silver chain, you can get the charm catcher, and you can add your charms to it on the bottom. So there's so many different ways that we can basically take your goals and your vision, and we can combine it into something that speaks to you, speaks to your how you love to wear your jewelry. Like if you're a silver person, if you're a gold lover, if you want a bracelet, if you want a necklace, if you just want something on your purse because you don't wear jewelry, there's like so many endless options for you. And that is honestly one of my favorite parts, is getting to actually design this and help everybody figure out what the best thing is for them. Can the charm catcher be used to attach to something else? Sorry, Cheryl, what do you mean something else? Like a different chain? Oh, you mean like could you just add it to like a smaller chain and put it on like your keys or something? Absolutely. It basically just has a little, here, I can show you really quickly. It basically just, let me flip this around, sorry. So it just slides off the chain. It just slides off the chain. And then it just has a little, it just has like a little slot in there. So as long as whatever you want to put it through is that size, basically, there we go, is that size, then you can do that. So yes, Carol, some of the chains have a larger end on it. And so it might not fit over the ends of the chain. But send me a message afterwards with which one you have, and I might be able to figure out a way to get it on there for you that doesn't involve a whole heck of a lot of work. So send me a message afterwards of what chain you have, and I'll see if I can help you out, okay? We'll get it sorted out for you. Okay, so let me just double check that I haven't missed anything crucial in my notes. And okay, so now what I would like is, I think it'll be really amazing and fun, and we'll do this really quickly because I know I'm at about almost 30 minutes at this point. My timer keeps going like dark. I have to keep like double tapping my timer. It's all great and fun to have something like this, but if you don't know how you're going to take those goals and you're going to break them down and know how to keep yourself motivated and act on those goals throughout the year, then it kind of doesn't do a whole lot for you. Like, it's fun and it's sparkly, but I don't really want you to have something and then be like, but I don't know how to actually move forward with the goals that this represents. So that is what page 5 is all about in the workbook. It is breaking them down into very, very small, itty bitty pieces of your goal. So for example, my travel one, actually, let's talk about my self-care one. So I want to make sure that I'm prioritizing my self-care and my crafting and my kind of that side of my self-care. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I prioritize a minimum of 5 minutes a day, or even starting out with maybe 3 times a week, not every day, but 5 minutes a day for maybe 3 times a week, and working my way up to more days throughout the week, because we want to start with something that is feasible, that's realistic, that's attainable, okay? So I'm going to do 5 minutes a day for 3 days a week, and I'm going to prioritize whether or not I do my skincare, whether or not I do my makeup, or whether or not I do my reading, or whether I do some coloring, okay? So I can kind of, to start out with, to make sure I kind of stay consistent, I want to pick something that I'm going to actually make sure that I do. So I'm going to pick one of those 3 to do, or one of those 4 to do. Actually, we'll take reading out of that because that one happens all the time. So we'll take my skincare, my makeup, or my coloring, and I have to do one of those every day for 3 days a week for like maybe a month. And then I would maybe do 4 days a week or 5 days a week after that, and slowly move up as I go, as it becomes more ingrained into my routine. So that's the first step that I would do in breaking down that goal. The second thing would be to realize that I cannot read my own notes that far down, to realize that my stress and my self-care and not doing these things is making a huge impact on my mental health. So keeping that front of mind to make sure that I'm not just doing this to do it. Like, there is a deeper, more personal reason as to why I am doing this goal, and I have to keep that front of mind. Otherwise, it just becomes like a random task that I don't want to do because I don't have any connection to it, if that makes sense. So when you're thinking about your goals and you're thinking about those 3 things that you want to accomplish, really drilling down into why that is important. And it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be like super serious. It can be something as simple as, because it makes me smile. Great. That is a perfect reason. But you have to remember that that's why you're doing it. You're not doing it just because you have a thing to check off your list. Although sometimes getting a dot is enough motivation for me. But sometimes it really comes down to figuring out why you want to actually do it. Okay. And then the third thing that's going to help me really break that down is finding friends to share it with and talk about and be accountable with. Because sometimes if you don't have somebody to share it with, and it's not like you want to find somebody to say, okay, I want to make sure I get this done, and if I don't, don't yell at me for it, right? That's not what we're talking about. But having something fun to share with, that they're going to get a kick out of, that they're going to enjoy with you. Here's a perfect example. If you watch me in my stories, I shared a picture yesterday of a gift that I received as part of a late Secret Santa exchange, and it was a Gilmore Girls coloring book. And so it tied right in with me wanting to do coloring and keep up on my coloring as part of my self-care, which they didn't have any idea about. I just put coloring stuff on my wish list because I'm trying to make sure that that's one of my goals for 2025. So they didn't have any idea what it was about. They know I'm a huge Gilmore Girls fan. So I took a picture of this, I shared it in my stories, and I tagged one of my besties who is also obsessed with Gilmore Girls. And I actually have a shirt from her that says, I smell snow, because she has an online store that she sells some Gilmore Girls and Harry Potter and Twilight kind of swag, which is really fun. And so I took a picture of it, I tagged her, and I said, I think I need to send you a couple of pages of this, because she's also obsessed with Gilmore Girls, and you better believe that when I start coloring it, I'm going to be sending her copies, or I'm going to be sending her pictures of it to say, like, look at what I did. I colored the gazebo, or I colored like whatever it was, right? Something fun to keep me motivated and keep it interesting and keep it part of my self-care. So finding someone that you can share that with, whether it's personally, whether it's privately, whether it's sharing it on Facebook, whether it's putting it in a story. I mean, I would love to see whatever you're doing. So I'm happy to have you send it to me, and I will be your fun, social share person. It could be your kids, it could be your spouse, your significant other, your friend, anybody that kind of is going to enjoy that story and that process with you. And that's really going to help, kind of keep you motivated throughout the year. Because if you're just doing it by yourself, there's nobody to kind of share it with and have fun. And we are social creatures. So that is an example of basically how I would take one of my goals and I would break it down into 3. So if you have something that was part of your goal and you want to break that down into those 3 goals, or into those 3 steps of how you can kind of keep that front of mind, I would love to hear it either here, or you can pop it into the comments below later. If you're in the Luminous Lounge, we are going to be doing, in my VIP group, we're going to be doing a little bit more of an accountability and a deep dive into this as part of that community, because we're very close knit and we do share some more personal aspects. So we're going to do that in the group, the private group setting. And so if you are not there, feel free to come over. It's Luminous Lounge. You should be able to search it on Facebook and find it. If not, pop Luminous down below. I will make sure that you get an invite to the group. But we are going to be doing a 7-day challenge over there to keep everybody motivated, to figure out what it is that we want to do with our goals, to really break those down and make sure that they're simple and they're easy, and that we're using our wearable vision board and we're using it in order to make sure that we stay motivated. Because there's one thing to have something fun and sparkly to wear and to keep you centered. It's another to not know how to take those goals and actually keep yourself motivated with them as well. So we're going to be doing that in the Luminous Lounge. I'm so happy that you think it's going to be fun, Kathy. I cannot wait for it. I'm just so excited to see what everybody comes up with. I will also be sharing, I'm going to be linking it shortly to the live here, as well as it's going to go out in an email as well to anyone who subscribed to the workshop. I want to make you being able to find and design your vision board the easiest thing possible. And I know it can be very, very daunting on our site, because there is just so much on there between the inscription pieces, the lockets, the charm pieces, like there's just the charm pendants. There's so much on there. So I've created a Google form that just has a couple of quick questions. And basically it outlines what your goals are going to be, what things come to mind when you think about your goals in terms of what I could potentially find a charm or a charm pendant for, or an inscription piece. And I will take all that information that you give me and I will design your vision board and send you a 1-click link that would have all of it together for you. You can add or remove anything from that link, but at least it gets the ball rolling for you and you don't have to hunt through the site to find everything that you might want. But you can certainly go through and still skim everything and look through and see if there's something that speaks to you that I didn't catch, or that I didn't see. But at least this way you can kind of save a little bit of that crazy hunting through all the different things on the site. So I'm going to drop that Google form here shortly below. And like I said, I want you to make sure that you are keeping this front of mind, that you're checking in. We're going to be doing a couple of check-ins here on the page as well that are a little bit more informal. But if you want some fun accountability and you want to stay on track, come over to the Luminous Lounge and we will do that. The other big surprise that I was waiting to share until the very end, my email got a bonus about it already. So if you were on the email, you already know. As my thank you and my gift to you to attending the workshop, I am offering that any vision board any vision board order that is placed between now and next Sunday, the 18th, I think it's the Sunday, it's the 18th, you will get a free charm. So whether it's a charm in a locket, whether it's a charm pendant on a necklace, and if you get an inscription piece and it doesn't happen to have a charm, I will message you. We will still work something out for that. But I'm offering a free charm from me personally. It has nothing to do with the company, because I just am so thankful that everybody attended this. I'm so excited to see what everybody does. So once I see that come in, then I will contact you to arrange how the reimbursement happens for that. But so that is going to be offered from now until the 18th, which I think is the Sunday. It might be the Saturday. Let me see if I can pull up a calendar. It is the Saturday. So I did it a week from today. Okay, so from now until January 18th, and I already had some people already kind of place an order for their vision board before the workshop started, and those count as well. So I will be in touch with those people. But I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait to see what everybody creates. And yes, thank you, Brenda. It is Saturday. And Cheryl, you are in the Luminous Lounge already. I think you are already in the group, but we will double check that and we will make sure that you do not miss anything. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. I'm off to spend some time with family. Stay tuned for an email if you are part of the workshop with some reminder information for that. And I cannot wait to see what everybody comes up with. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining. Till next time. Bye.